Oh, hi! My name is Wendy Weather and I'm the History Drag Queen. And today on Spooky History, we're talking about the origin of ghosts. Actually, the earliest depiction of a spirit or specter actually comes from ancient Babylon in about 1500 BCE. So a ghost is commonly known as a spirit of a dead person or animal that has come back to the land of the living in some way, shape, or form. Now, do I believe in ghosts? Yes, ma'am, ham, turkey, and cheese, I do. And it actually comes from a clay tablet that guided you on how to basically exorcise spirits. Because the Babylonians and other civilizations like Egyptians, Mesopotamians, and even the Greeks, if you had an interaction with a spirit or a ghost, it was your responsibility to deal with it and fix it. And they had the belief of if a spirit has crossed back into the land of the living, that means something is terribly went wrong, like something is completely out of whack and it needs to be fixed. So I guess you would say the ancient Babylonians were avid ghost hunters. Okay, Mr. Zach Baggins, they're coming for your gig. But also, let's remind the fact that not all spiritual entities are malicious. There have been cases of loved ones visiting past family members in a very, nice, sentimental way. And some historians believe that there are even notable ghosts. One of them being Lady Jane Grey. For those who don't know, Lady Jane Grey was actually a British monarch for about 9 days. And Lady Jane Grey's story is actually kind of tragic because she was 19. Yeah, yikes. So after Edward VI, who died when he was a teenager, who was the son of Henry VIII, there was this whole device for secession. His advisors had kind of plotted this coup of putting Lady Jane Grey up as the next monarch. But the actual one in line was actually Mary Tudor, aka known as Bloody Mary. So, Lady Jane Grey actually became a scapegoat for a lot of the stuff Henry VIII kind of, let loose. She was appointed British monarch and Mary Tudor didn't really like that. So Lady Jane Grey was actually taken to the Tower of London and was executed, unfortunately. And since then, Lady Jane Grey has been seen in the Tower of London in the battlements. The most notable sighting of Lady Jane Grey actually happened in 1957 when 2 guards saw her. One guard during his night shift actually saw her above his head. He was standing there in the battlements, doing guard things, and he just looks up and Lady Jane Grey is above his head. He called out to his other fellow guardsman who was near him. He ran into the room and lo and behold, they both saw her just walking above their heads. And to this day, Lady Jane Grey is actually still seen around the time of her death. Another notable historical haunting actually is the White House. It's very well known the White House is actually still haunted by Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of the United States and was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. Well, his specter actually still roams the halls of the White House. The first reported sighting of Abraham Lincoln is actually from Calvin Coolidge's wife. The First Lady at the time actually saw him in the Oval Office looking out the window. And another notable First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, actually is claimed to have seen him in her study. And Abraham Lincoln has been seen by numerous staff and visitors, even Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill claims that Abraham Lincoln once walked in on him in the bathtub. Excuse me? 7 years ago, would you like some Epsom salt? What? No. Maybe he was trying to sneak a little peek. I mean, that's besides the point, but hey. And last but not least, a notable historical haunt is actually film star Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow was actually a 1930s Hollywood starlet and silver screen icon and is known as the OG blonde bombshell. Jean unfortunately tragically died when she was only 26 years old. Like many spirits, she does, have the occasional hot and cold spots in her home, but one of the rooms actually is so permeated with her perfume. And actually, in the 1970s, a couple bought and renovated their home, and Jean actually saved their life. They have alleged that Jean actually visited both of them in a dream and told them about the faulty wiring. And the next day, lo and behold, they investigated it, and their house was a tinderbox waiting to happen. And to this day, Jean Harlow's spirit actually sweetly haunts their home. But yeah, at the end of the day, ghosts have always been around, and will probably always be around. Thank you for tuning in and learning the origins of ghosts with me. Stay tuned for more spooky history, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.